Hey, you crazy cats and kittens. We're here today. The Lionesses are here today to talk about the media multiplexity theory. And I, your host, Andrea, I'm here. I'm here with a lot of other lions today, like.
Hi guys, I'm Sydney.
I'm Phoenix.
And I'm Marisa.
So I'll start us off today and talk a little bit about what our theory, the media multiplexity theory, is all about. So basically, researchers have looked at it and used it to look at the association between relational closeness and ICT use. And it's big within social networks and internet connectivity. And basically, it states that when a relationship is strong, people use media with that person. So a bond is formed and there's strong ties and weak ties, and a stronger tie means that that person utilizes more media with the person that they're in a relationship with. And basically, by introducing or eliminating media, there can be major changes within that social network. And the theory has also yielded data that was found through quantitative research. So it's mostly a quantitative research theory, but it can also look at the bonds between people, and media is used to strengthen that relationship, and it's a very comprehensive theory altogether. And one example that I have in my life is my best friend Natasha and we basically use every form of social media. On Instagram, we share videos and pictures with each other daily through direct messages. We Snapchat each other constantly throughout the day because we're so involved in each other's lives, and also through text, FaceTime, and calling. We stay in touch because she is across the country in Michigan and I'm here in the Bay Area. But Phoenix, what is your personal experience with this theory?
So I was going to talk about, I have two friends in particular right now that are both teammates of mine. One is 4 years older than me and one is 4 years younger than me. And I communicate with both these girls through every social media you could count. I mean, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, text message, FaceTime. But the student who's 4 years older than me, it's interesting because like Snapchat and TikTok wasn't like a big part of her life in high school and stuff. And it's not like, I don't want to say her generation because we're all the same generation. But it's interesting, she doesn't use it nearly as much. So like I might Snapchat this girl once a day, but I'll be texting her 24/7. And my younger friend, who's 4 years younger than me, she loves Snapchat, she loves TikTok, she's on it 24/7, but I can never get her to pick up the phone. So I was kind of touching on how this theory affects different types of relationships I have with people. Like I associate different social medias with different friendships I have, just based on like, I don't know, like Instagram. Like I have friends who are super into that. And so I'm communicating with them, or like international friends of mine all love Instagram. And like direct messaging on Instagram is like the equivalent to texting, which I find really interesting because here in California, that's so not a thing. But that's how I communicate with them. That's how they like it. And so I think it's interesting. I have some best friends who I only FaceTime, and I have some best friends who I'm Snapchatting every 3 minutes. So that's kind of how I looked at the theory and how it affects my life, is how different social medias hold the connections between my different friendships, I guess.
Definitely. How about you, Andrea?
Well, so like when you're looking at your friends overall, I think you can say the ones you text the most like tend to be like your closer friends. But like when you're looking at TikTok and stuff, I feel like TikTok is a very generational thing. Even though like Phoenix said, like we are all part of the same generation, I think it's like very much like part of like the newer, like the bottom, like so the newest people like kind of popping in, like that friend that's 4 years younger than you. But with the expansion of social media, it seems like you're always like with someone, even if you're sitting right next to them or they're right in front of you, like you're sending each other like Instagram stories or like sending each other TikToks and things like that. Like I have a group of friends that we've been separated like due to like people moving away from college, or like one of my friends, her parents like moved away, and like when we get together, nothing, like it feels like nothing has changed. And so I think this theory like really cements the feeling that like nothing has to change, because since you're constantly communicating either within Snapchat or texting or FaceTiming, like the connection stays stable through like group chats and like doing like sending each other memes and like sending each other pictures, like old pictures, like your Snapchat memories, or like memes that remind you of each other. So I feel like the amount of media we use to keep in contact keeps the friendship, I don't know if it grows it, but it definitely keeps it at a stable place. Like it's so when you get together, it feels like you're hitting like the unpause button with your friends. Like it just keeps it very much like at a stable place, and like you can just pick up right where you left off. Like that's at least how I feel about it.
Definitely, totally agree, especially because the best friend that I mentioned, she's all the way across the country. So it's like we can keep our friendship strong through those connections and those networks of media. How about you, Marissa?
Yeah, my example is pretty similar. So pretty much I met a guy through mutual friends who doesn't live in the area. He lives like a couple hours away. And so pretty much we had to continue our friendship through communicating and interacting through most forms of the media, like text messaging, calling, responding to each other's stories on Instagram, Snapchatting a lot. And at the same time, I'd been thinking about deleting one of these medias, specifically Snapchat, because I feel like it was distracting me a lot. And so I decided to delete it. And it probably only lasted about a week before I started re-downloading it, because I realized that also like with my other friends too, like they would Snapchat me throughout the day, everything that they're doing throughout the day. And so I kind of missed that. And then in regards to the guy I was talking to, I saw that it really affected our relationship of communication, because that was the main thing that we used. And so pretty much we weren't as close as we were when I did have Snapchat, which is kind of crazy to think about, that like just deleting an app can do that much effect to a relationship. So we really weren't as close as we were, and it did decrease like that connection for sure. And so kind of connecting this back to the media multiplexity theory, it shows that how like stronger ties exist more when you're using more media and more of these apps to communicate. And typically if you don't use as many, then you have weaker ties with this person. So yeah,
those are really great examples. So now I have a little clip. It's about 2 minutes, just kind of explaining the theory and delving more into what it's all about.
I'm Krisha. Let's talk about media multiplexity theory. The theory claims that our social network powerfully influence the media we use, including why we might choose one medium over another to send a greeting such as happy birthday. You can tell if saying happy birthday through Facebook is different on other social media platform, right? So how do we decide which one to use? Nowadays, they prefer what is trendy and what is popular. It does not matter what platform is used. What's important is you express your thoughts in any kind of way. The multiplexity scholars are convinced of one simple fact. The stronger the relational tie we have with a person, the more media we will use with that person. There are two ties. Strong ties are individual who share a close connection, like romantic partner, family, best friend, while weak ties are those individuals who are connected but aren't close. Strong ties use many media, so they are more interdependent, so they must communicate more often. Multiple media is necessary to maintain the relationship. For example, you send message to your husband or to your partner saying that call me, message me on this specific site, right? Ties is more like reaching out to your old classmate way back in grade school using Facebook only. So as you can see, what ties communicate about on each medium does not differ. So what we say is more affected by how close we are. Let's talk about adding and removing media change relationship. Adding means increasing connectivity, while removing means decreasing connectedness. Adding for strong ties, you give him more options so that he has more opportunity to talk to you, while in weak ties, he will give you a chance to talk to you more. So removing for strong ties means you are trying another opportunity to talk to that person, while weak ties reduce the chance of you talking to them. Remember, ties who talk via Facebook tend to always talk via Facebook, and ties who talk via email and telephone tend to talk the same. because relationships are so important in media selection. So you must match the medium to the relationship rather than focusing on technical capacity of the medium. Remember, McLuhan state that the medium is the message.
Okay, so that kind of sums up the theory really well. Interestingly enough, our group, kind of like a full example of us chatting and like staying connected as a group, we all use tons of mediums, including Zoom and FaceTime and text to stay in touch. And that rings true within this group.
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of that. The lionesses, we stay in touch in our group chat. We're constantly asking. We had a Google Doc that we all participated on. It was like totally using this media multiplexity theory. I mean, there's no question that it's especially relevant, especially now in our COVID, pre-COVID, post-COVID. I feel like we're just going to continue on in this path of media multiplexity. So here we are, the lionesses. We're signing off. It was nice to talk to you about this, but I think you get the gist of it.